We're joined by our London correspondent, Jonathan Sacerdoti. Thanks for being with us here. I have to reference what happened in April. I mean, Extinction Rebellion's shut down central London for 2 weeks back in April. Are we expecting now what they say 5 times the size? What about police presence? Is this a serious issue?
Indeed, it is a serious issue, if only because of the amount of disruption that it's set to cause and is causing London and central London in particular. These protesters have said, as you commented, that they would like to hold protests, disruptions 5 times the size of those they did in April. Back in April, some suggested that the police didn't take the protests seriously enough. The police didn't make any arrests, for example, before lunchtime. This time around, the police do seem to be acting a bit tougher in relation to the disruption. There have been over 120 arrests, including one 81-year-old woman. Of course, the Extinction Rebellion website itself had said before the event that this was part of their strategy. They believed that they could fill up the available police cells within London, and that would mean that there would be plenty more of them still able to disrupt people's day-to-day lives on the streets of London.
Do you have the feeling that it's mostly locals, or is this attracting, is there, in a way, climate tourism associated with this? Are people coming in from other countries?
Well, looking at the analysis of April's protests, for example, it seems that perhaps behind it there's a lot more than meets the eye. The think tank Policy Exchange wrote a whole report on the movement Extinction Rebellion and their protests, saying that perhaps it needed to be taken more seriously because of the people who are involved. It said they may appear just to be climate protesters, but they're also, they said, rallying behind an extreme left anarchist sort of agenda. And to that end, they urged that the police and the government should take much firmer action. Today, of course, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, has said that he does respect people's right to protest, but that he urges the police and hopes that the police will take firm action on those who are being disruptive. One worry has been that the hospital just over the Thames from Westminster, from the Houses of Parliament, could be disrupted because of all the disruption in the area, including shutting down 2 bridges over the Thames. But I contacted them just a few moments ago to check how things are going, and they have said over at St Thomas's that so far this has not affected their general day-to-day activities.
We're seeing live images here from Berlin as well, major crowds there. I know, obviously, you mentioned from the top down, the police, the politicians taking this seriously, but it seems they're more caught up with the fears of unrest in the city. Are the policymakers, though, actually taking notice? Are they paying attention to the message?
Well, the government, certainly in the United Kingdom, is quite busy with a few other things, most of them starting with a B and ending with exit. But in the meantime, the protesters say that that's all well and good, but this is what they believe to be some sort of emergency. They believe there's some form of extinction, some sort of perhaps end of the world being nigh. Whether or not politicians need to take their message seriously perhaps pales into insignificance when politicians do need to take seriously the amount of disruption they'll cause. Perhaps allowing that disruption to continue will be an unpopular policy in and of itself. So politicians in the UK and the world over certainly paying lip service to environmental causes. They would argue doing more than that and trying to improve the carbon emissions of the country and industry within the country and around the world. But the protesters saying that just not enough is happening, not quickly enough, and that's why they see fit to disrupt the day-to-day lives of ordinary Britons.
Well, thank you very much. Jonathan Sacerdoti here reporting to us from London as the so-called Extinction Rebellion's kicking off there.